Have you ever had that feeling where your best English is just stuck inside your head? You know exactly what you want to say, but by the time you've translated it all, the moment's just gone. Well, in this explainer, we're going to show you how to break that cycle for good and speak with some real effortless confidence.
It is so frustrating, isn't it? You have the perfect thing to say. It's right there on the tip of your tongue, but it feels like it's locked behind this wall of mental translation. And not little delay, that processing lag, it always keeps you one step behind the actual conversation. You see, it happens in 2 steps.
So, first, the idea just pops into your head. It's perfect, it's clear, it's exactly what you mean in your native language. But that's kind of where the trouble starts.
And then your brain just kicks into overdrive, right? It's trying to convert every single word, figure out the grammar. By the time you've sorted it all out, oops, the conversation has moved on. This whole cycle is what we call the translation trap, and honestly, it's the biggest thing holding people back from true fluency.
Okay, so let's dig into why this is actually happening. And look, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's more like you're taking the long, scenic route when there's a direct highway just waiting for you. The process itself is just really, really inefficient.
Here's a little mindset shift that can change everything for you. You don't have a bad habit, you just have a slow one. Your brain is literally working twice as hard as it needs to. That 2-step process, that's the bottleneck. It's not your English skills.
This slide really just lays it all out. Look on the left. You see that 2-step process? It creates a delay. And that delay leads to hesitation, and, hesitation leads to fear. That fear of making a mistake. But now look at the fluent brain on the right. It's a straight line from idea to speech. That right there, that is where confidence and flow come from. So if we want to get over to the right side of this chart, we need a brand new goal.
So if that old way of translating word for word is a dead end, then what's the alternative? Well, it starts by throwing out a really common piece of advice that, frankly, isn't very helpful.
I bet you've heard this a million times. Oh, you just need to start thinking in English. The intention is good, but the advice is just so vague, right? It doesn't give you anything real to do. The actual goal is something much more tangible and honestly, way more achievable.
And here it is. This is the perspective shift that changes everything. The goal isn't just some mental exercise, it's physical training. It's about building this automatic, super fast connection between an idea and the words coming out of your mouth, totally skipping that slow translation step.
And this is how it's even possible. Fluent speakers, they're not building every sentence from scratch. No way. They're pulling from this huge mental library of pre-made phrases and patterns, we'll call them speech chunks, that they can just use instantly. Think of it like having pre-built Lego models ready to go instead of just a big pile of individual bricks. So the question is, how do we build that library?
All right, this is where we get super practical. The way to build this library of speech chunks is a technique called the copycat method. It's simple, it's direct, and it is incredibly effective at creating that automatic response system we've been talking about.
The whole thing boils down to just these 3 simple steps. Listen, repeat, and drill. That is the entire process, and each one of these steps plays a really important part in rewiring your brain and getting your mouth to work in perfect sync.
So let's look at why this works so incredibly well. Listening, well, that tunes your ear to the natural rhythm of the language. Repeating forges that critical link between the sound you hear and the physical feeling of saying the words. And drilling, oh, this is the secret sauce. Drilling builds muscle memory. It makes the response automatic, just like riding a bike. It gets rid of the need to think, which means it gets rid of the need to translate. So here's the mindset you need when you're doing this. You have to turn off that little grammar critic in your head. Don't worry about analyzing the words. Don't try to translate them. Your only job is to be a parrot. You hear the sound, you copy it. Exactly.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like a huge commitment. But the best part is, you can start so small. In fact, all you need is a simple 2-minute daily routine to start seeing real results.
That's it. Just 2 minutes. This is not about spending hours cramming. It's all about short, consistent, focused practice. And I think we can all agree anyone can find 2 minutes in their day.
And here is the system. For that first minute, you're going to shadow just one sentence. That means you play the audio and you speak right along with it, like a shadow, trying to match the rhythm, the intonation, everything. Then, for the second minute, you turn off the audio and you say that same sentence on your own, relying on the muscle memory you just built. It's simple, it's repeatable, and it's so powerful.
So where does this whole journey end up? Well, it leads to the ultimate goal, getting out of your own head and just speaking. It's all about building a brand new foundation for your English, one that's built on instant responses, not that slow, frustrating translation. Really, these are the 3 pillars of confidence. It doesn't come from memorizing more vocab words. It comes from having a toolbox of phrases that are ready to go. It's built through that consistent daily practice. And at the end of the day, it comes from learning to trust that when you open your mouth, the right words are just going to flow out because you've put in the work.
And you will get there. If you just start small with that one sentence for 2 minutes a day, that frustrating delay, it's going to get smaller and smaller. And then one day soon, you'll find yourself right in the middle of a conversation, and you won't be translating, you won't be overthinking, you'll just be speaking. The method is simple, the time commitment is tiny, and the result is the fluency you've been working for. So the only question left is, are you ready to stop translating and just speak?